welcome to another episode of Stamp Your Way. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make this cute little gift box, which I am calling a milk carton, because it looks like a milk carton to me. Now, how this project came to be was I needed something to put little Valentine treats in for my son's classmates at school. Now, Stampin' Up! Has a smaller version of this little box. They call it the Baker's Box. And these are the dies that you can purchase. And it makes this cute little box. And there's different holes or slots, different ways you can close it. Or you don't even have to punch this through. But it's a cute little baker's box also for little treats or little gift giving. This is a great size for a little cupcake. But my problem is that I needed to get all of these goodies into a box. And as you can see, this is not going to fit. And so I get a little carried away with the treats. So I thought, well, I'm going to use my engineering skills and basically recreate the baker's box into a larger size. So I created it so that there's twice as much height as the baker's box. It's the same depth, and it's the same width, crossed here, as the baker's box. It's just taller so that I could get more goodies in it. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to show you how I created this box in case you too would like to stuff more stuff in your baker's box. This is what you can do to create a bigger box. Okay, let's get started. Okay, now here's the template that I created so that I could remember and make this project in the future myself. Basically, I just have it cut to the size, the cardstock to the size I need, and then I wrote on here all of my different score lines and measurements and so forth, so that I can always recreate this. Now, this will be up on my blog at stampyourway.blogspot.com, so you can take a look at that this template there and check out the measurements. But for starters, what we need to do is cut some cardstock. Now, I just have a scrap piece of cardstock here. The great thing about this project is that it uses just one sheet of standard sized cardstock. So basically 11 inches by 8.5. The paper needs to measure 5.5 by 8.25. So basically we're just going to cut this paper in half. 5.5. Okay. And so we have 5.5 this way, and since the paper is usually 8.5, we're going to cut off 1/4 of an inch along the long side here. Okay, and we're going to do that with both pieces. 8.25. Okay. So now that we have these two pieces, now we're going to do some scoring. Now, it's important to keep track of which side is the top, which will be the top of your box. And the reason why is because if by chance, there's actually two reasons. The first reason is if you have patterned paper, you're going to want the pattern oriented so that it's facing upwards. You wouldn't want your hearts upside down or, flowers or so forth. The other reason is so that if you keep the correct orientation, then you're always getting your score marks in the right place. So the first thing, this is going to be the top of the box. Okay? And so the first thing we need to do is to score. I'm going to put this at the 1/4 inch line on the paper trimmer. and my scoring blade's getting a little worn out, so I'm going to use this bone folder to score at 1/4 inch in from the left. Okay. Okay, so here's my first score line. As we go along, I'm going to draw on my score lines with a permanent marker, black marker, so that you can easily see what I'm doing here in the video. Okay, now like I said, the next score line is going to be at 2.5, at the 2.5 inch line. So I'm going to move my paper over to 2.5. This is lined up 2.5 all the way. And I'm going to score this line. Okay. Okay, so I drew a line on that score line so that you can see that one as well. Now, remember, this is the top. The little 1/4 inch score line would be to the left of the top of our box. We're going to turn it in this direction. And now we're going to score at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put this line at the 1/2 inch mark on my paper trimmer. Line that up. And then score that line. So that's 1/2 inch. Then we're going to move over to 2.25 inches. Score that line. Okay. And the last score line, I need to move up to the top of my trimmer because I need the 6.75 inch line, which is right up here. Okay, and I'll score this line. Okay. Okay, so I drew in the black lines, not very carefully as you can see, but the lines are there so you can see where the score lines are so far. And I went ahead and did the same thing with the other half, the other piece, that, because you're going to need 2 pieces in order to create the box. Both pieces will be identical, so I got caught up and did the other piece. Now, the last score line we need to create is this V in this box right up here on the left. Now this box, between this score line and this score line, it measures 2.25 inches. So we need to find the center point between these 2 lines, which would be halfway, or 1 1/8 inch. So I'm going to put that up here on my, and find, let's see, this would line up this score line with my track. Let's see, 2.25. So now we need 1 1/8, which is like right here, just to find the center point. Then we can line up that little pencil mark, and you can always erase that after you get this part done. But I'm going to line up this pencil mark in the center track with the bottom corner where these 2 score lines intersect with the track. And I'm going to basically score between that pencil mark and this corner. Just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Line up that corner. And then score this one. Okay. Okay, so I went ahead and did the scoring for the triangles on both sheets and drew the black lines so that you can easily see the score lines. And now, just like this template, this section right in here, basically from this score line over to the left, is going to be cut off. Then we're also going to cut just a little triangle divot right where this score line comes down, and then this last little section is going to be cut off too. So on this sheet, I shaded in I just sort of with a pencil scribbled and shaded in this area to show you that this piece is going to be cut off. And remember, this is the top of the box. Okay. Okay, so that piece is out. Here is where I'm going to cut out this little divot, this little triangle divot. Okay, see? And then this piece down here is going to be cut off as well. Okay. Now this score line right here, this is the top of the box, milk carton, if you will, and the bottom of the box is here. So this score line I'm going to cut up right to that score line, so I have it a little flap like this. And I'll do the same thing with the other piece. So this is cut out at the top. And then the little triangle divot. And there's no measurement on this one, it's just like that. I mean, I just cut up towards that score line on each side. And then I'll cut out this piece. Then, once again, cut up straight up from the bottom. Okay. Alright, now, as you can see on the template, I have this section here, I drew like a little curved line. Now this is optional. I wanted it to look like the baker's box template, which is curved at the top. See this right here. And this, you don't have to do that. If you want it to just go straight up and be straight across, you can. But if you want it curved, then just take a 1/2 inch corner rounder punch and just place this. Again, the top of the box is up here. So I'm going to cut there, and in order to do this one I'm going to fold this back, and it won't cut it. You don't have to worry about cutting that back flap there, so that it's rounded. Okay, and I do the same thing with this one. This top corner in, fold this back, and then round the other side. Okay. Now at this point, what you can also do, if you want, you could, as you can see here in the baker's box, this one has these little holes, and there are a couple other different dies that come with the baker's box thinlits, which allows you to add some sort of closure holes at the top. There's the 2 holes die right here. There's also this little die, it's just another design, or this one, which creates a big long slit in the top part of the box. So you could use these for this project as well to make those little holes or slot or what have you. But mine, I'm just going to leave this one solid. And so then the next step, and like I said, you run that through the Big Shot, put your die in there, and then you could have your fancy holes. So that's that. Okay, so the next step then, we want to fold on all the score lines. So this one I've already folded so that I could punch that. Punch the curve in the corners, the corner punch. These are going to be folded down because these flaps are going to go under the box. This is where the box gets its bend at the top, and this one is going to bend back. So I want to fold this one back because, as you can see, when you pinch it goes back this way. Okay, now this little 1/4 inch flap, this is for sealing the box. I'm going to fold this towards the top. Okay. Top meaning this is the outside of the box. This would be the inside of the box. Okay. Now to fold these, I'm just going to, right on that score line, just fold this one, and then fold this one down. These go towards the front. Yeah, like this, towards the front, because that's going to go in. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. This one's back. This one's forward. This one's towards the outside of the box. Fold on these triangles. Like that. And then the bottom flaps here. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Okay, now for time-saving purposes, I've already put some adhesive on each of these pieces. I put a piece on these, basically this 1/4 inch little flap here. And I think previously I had folded these flaps like up, but you're going to want to fold these flaps back. And you'll see why when you get ready to assemble here. And I did this to both pieces. And then flip the pieces over, and on both of the larger flaps on the bottom, I just ran a piece of adhesive across the bottom. Now I would definitely recommend a stronger adhesive. I use the tear tape. You can also use fast fuse. You can also use the multi-purpose. This is really strong glue, but the only difference with that one is you have to hold it just a few seconds to allow it to adhere, whereas with the tear tape or the fast fuse, there's no wait time. So now I'm going to remove the strips off of the tear tape. And with both pieces in the same orientation, laying side by side, so you have top flap alternating with the sides of the box, I'm going to basically just line up these score lines and place it down and adhere it to the tape. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, bring up this flap, remove these paper backing here on this tear tape, then just bring this flap over, make sure that these line up. This goes together really quick. Then I'm going to remove the paper backing from these flaps. Okay. Tuck in the two side flaps, and then just keep the alignment nice and straight. Press down one side, and then the other. And then you can always stick your hand inside and give it a good press. Okay. Now if you fold it really well on your score lines, it basically just comes right together. See, the side tucks in from that triangle score, and that's it. So now with my finished one, I used a couple different stamp sets to decorate the box. For the front, I used the Sealed with Love stamp set, and I used this Happy Valentine's Day. Punch that out. Okay, and then for the background, the designer paper, I used the Sending Love Designer Series pack, and you get all of these two-sided 6x6 inch sheets of designer paper, and I used some of that. And all the measurements for the paper and punches that I used will be listed on my website, on my blog, stampyourway.blogspot.com. And on the back, I used a stamp from the You're So Sweet stamp set, and that's this stamp right here. And I just cut it out, corner rounded, and again popped it up on some designer series paper. And I'll probably, I'm not sure how I'll close this up yet, but anyway, this is it. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Again, if you are liking my videos, be sure to click the subscribe link on YouTube so that you can be sure to get a notification each time I upload a new video. You can always be sure to tune in. And again, there'll be more pictures at the end of this video of this project, and measurements and supplies that you'll need, shopping list for this milk carton project, all on my website, on my blog, stampyourway.blogspot.com. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.